You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live Next, featuring intimate and in-depth interviews with Black Hollywood's next edition of stars and influencers. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, Next.
Yeah, you hear that future in the background? Yeah. Hey, welcome to another edition of Black Hollywood Live Next, where we talk to all the upcoming and next people that you need to know, because they are thebomb.com. Today's no exception. We have a great guest. I am one of your hosts, Megan Thomas, at Meg Scoop on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. What about you?
And I'm Courtney Tezeno. You guys can keep in touch at Tezenos on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, and make sure you use the hashtag BHL Next if you have any questions for our guests. Let us know what's up. And also, don't forget to go to podcast1.com.
Yes.
It's a survey to let us know how we're doing. If you love us, let us know. If you hate us, let us know. But be nice. Just let us know, okay?
Please.
You gotta be mean. But yeah, it only takes 3 minutes, so go to podcast1.com and be sure to let us know what you think of us.
Yes.
Today we have this gentleman. You've seen him on MTV's Faking It. Give it up for Keith Powers, y'all.
Hey, what's up?
Hand clap it
Yes,
up.
hand clap it up. Hand clap it up. What's it like being on that show, by the way?
I love it. I love my cast. I love the writers. I love the showrunner. It's amazing. It's like, it doesn't even feel like work. Like,
Really?
I love going.
That's good.
That's
That's
a
how you
great
know you're in the right place.
Exactly. I'm the type to get to set like 30 minutes early and stuff. I just like being around everybody. I just like being around everyone. I just love my cast. So yeah. It's
Awesome.
great.
Yeah. Well, let's start off with some current event stuff.
Okay.
Let's talk about some casting news.
Inform me.
Yes, so Cuba Gooding Jr. is going to be in a new movie. It's a slave movie.
Okay.
What do you guys think about all these slave movies that are coming out? Are you like, is it good for black actors, or do you feel like this is overkill?
I think it's good in the sense that, you always need to remind America what happened and,
Right.
about that history. Of course, it could get to a point where it's like, okay, we could play different roles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We don't want to see this all the time. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't put them out, then people are going to be like, oh, well, you need to remind people. And if you do, people are going to be like, it's overkill, like you said. So, I mean, it goes both ways. But I think there's pros and cons to it, more so pros, because I feel like the young kids coming up, they don't know too much about it. Even if they are getting taught it in school, you still need those movies. You still need Hollywood to get behind it and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I think if it's giving you jobs, then come on now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, right. Would you be in a slave movie, King?
Yeah, I would, of course.
What kind of slave would you be?
I don't know. What you trying to say, house slave?
Oh, no.
No, I'm saying, like, because I watched, so I watched, 12 Years a Slave, and I watched, all the slave movies. I'm like, okay, what kind of slave? Would I be, like, one that would, like, fight? Or would I be like, okay, let me just play my role, because...
I think I would want to be one that fights. I would love to
like
be
Django.
that
The
one.
person that's
I want to be a Django.
I don't want to be like the scary one or the one that just. I want to be the one that's rebellious, towards the slave masters. If I did have to do one, yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
I think that makes more of an impact.
Yeah.
So then you're going to see Cuba Gooding Jr. in the new movie. It's called Freedom, and it's going to be really good because it talks about him. He goes, his grandfather meets up with a man, and he meets the man years later. It's a really, really good story. So make sure you be on the lookout for that. They're still putting that together, so it's going to be a while. But Sharon Leal is in it, as well as Terrence Mann. So
Good. And then we started off with some music, but let's get into some fresh new beats. So there's a new song out, Jennifer Hudson, a new music video for her song, I Still Love You. And I'm going to let you guys see it, then I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
Let's hear it. So basically, Jennifer has like some amazing vocals, but this is pretty much a video of a wedding, a gay marriage actually. So her whole thing is about acceptance, and really the whole video, the dad is struggling on whether he's going to go to his son's wedding and things of that nature. So I think it's a really good music video to have out right now. Caitlyn Jenner stuff is coming out, even though that's transgender. I just think it's all about love and acceptance. So I Still Love You seems great. What did you guys think about it?
I don't like that song. I'm not talking about the video.
Okay.
I'm talking about, I'm used to hearing like Jennifer Hudson singing
Blow?
like below it, and it's like, I still love you.
It gives me like an 80s vibe.
I don't like her singing.
going.
I like her belting. You're trying to love me.
I get it.
Stuff
But
from
look,
her.
as an artist, you have to push the limits sometimes. You have to challenge yourself, and I think that's what she's doing with this, and making a statement at the same time. Now, do I love me some Jennifer Hudson blowing? Yes, honey. But I think she's doing a good job with that one. What do you think?
Like she said, I'm so used to like, you know, different type of music from Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah.
But I applaud anyone trying to do something different in life and push a different envelope. As far as the song, like it has a very 80s vibe. I could have heard it in like the Scarface movie. When he was trying to dance with, you know, his soon-to-be wife in that movie. But yeah, I like her more, you know, classic R&B music for her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I always take my hat off to people trying to do something different because that takes a lot of guts. And you know, the message behind the video is a good message. You know what I mean? It's for a reason. It has a reason behind it for people, you know, struggling with that every day. So for her to put something out like that, it's, you know, it's challenging. You know what I mean? It's taking a risk. So I applaud anyone doing that. You know
Kudos
what
to
I mean?
her.
Yeah.
I was feeling the Iggy and Jennifer Hudson when they put out a little bit
I
more.
did.
That was more
Okay,
J Hud, but yeah. It's a fresh beat, but let's go into something else.
Yeah, let's talk about the next big thing. There's an app out that you need to know. It's called Unicorns.
I'm
okay?
scared, y'all.
Let me tell you what Unicorns does, which I was like, why is anybody going to get this app? But apparently there's a lot of people that are starting to use it. Unicorns lets people see, it's an app that streams what you're literally doing on your phone.
It's like a mix between Periscope and Meerkat.
Yes, so Periscope, Meerkat, and also there's an app called Home Screen that basically just shows you the home screen.
Yeah.
Well, this one kind of blends all of those together, and people can literally, when they like, I guess, follow you, they can see exactly what it is that you're doing on your phone. So if you're texting, they can see the little bubble, they can see your finger, they can see like you typing the words on the screen. Or if you are like playing a game, they can see that.
Megan, this is terrible.
What do you mean?
Not that kudos to them again for pushing the limit, but come on now, we gotta have a little bit more privacy. You're gonna download an app so someone can see everything on your phone. What if you slip up and oh no, I can just only imagine.
That's like the same thing with Instagram or Facebook. Like, you shouldn't be on there if you don't want people to see your business.
Exactly.
Like, you shouldn't put your business out there.
My thing is, how are they going to be successful with this app?
Well, let me
Who's
tell you
going to
how-
download this?
Let me tell you how. Apparently, a lot of people are doing it. So it started out because they were trying to create. They're tech guys, so they wanted to create something where it told people like, okay, watch me do this. I'm going to do this. You just log onto this account. You'll see me doing this, or you'll see me playing this game, or you'll see me fixing this app, and then you can learn how to do it yourself. Well, that's how it started. It wasn't supposed to be a real app. It was literally like, just check what I'm doing. Now people started using it like, oh, well, I'm a gamer. Do you play video games of any
Yes, I
sort?
do.
What do you play?
I play NBA 2K, Call of Duty, Madden.
Right, so all of these
that.
people that play these games, what they'll do is they'll
Yeah.
log on their account, on their iPad or whatever. They'll play something,
And people will watch.
Exactly,
Tune in,
and
yeah.
it's huge. I was
It's
like, wait,
huge,
people
yeah.
actually watching
In
this?
that retrospect, it's great.
It makes
Gamers,
sense, yeah.
gamers can teach each other how to pass this hard level and things like that. I'm down with that. But people take apps to another level, and I'm scared.
I think people are so narcissistic in this society. They'll be like, yes, look at me sending this text, especially if it's like
and
a
that's why they'll lose a
celebrity.
follower.
I think it'll work in some sense. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, what if a girl's like, I want to look up some makeup products. What sites do you use? Oh, I'm going to show you right now. Something like that. But
Right.
I don't think it should be something where you should be doing it every day, all day. Like, that's
Exactly.
scary. Like, but we live in a nosy society nowadays,
Right.
so everybody want to see what everybody's doing. But yeah, like I seen an article on it. They were talking about like, if somebody posts a picture, they could be like, "This is what filter I use."
Right.
I don't really
somebody-
care.
But if you think about like celebrities and stuff, I'm sure you have fans.
Kim
Yeah.
Kardashian.
See,
She would
that's
be a
when I
good
think
one.
it's a good market for it for people like her,
Right.
And people who, you know what I mean. That's where it's good, but I couldn't do it.
Some of your fans, I'm sure, would do that. Be like, oh, let me see what you're doing on your phone.
I'm bored. I probably. I'm boring. Like, I don't know. What would I do? Like, you'll see me like probably scroll through Instagram.
And see?
This is what I do. Scroll
Yeah,
through.
Oh, he liked this one girl's photo.
Exactly.
Does he like her? Like,
Exactly. That's the man. They'll tune
that's
out
why.
fast.
Exactly.
I'm done.
right.
I don't even do this.
But anyways,
Yeah, let's talk about you. Let's talk about, growing up.
you grew up in Sacramento, so that's not too far from Los Angeles. What was it like growing up there? Because it's not as heavy on movies, theater. What was it like growing up there?
Well, how I growing up in Sacramento was very like boxed in, I call it. I feel like where I grew up, you were either playing sports, you were either a scholar, or you're in the streets, or you're all of the above.
Okay. A combination.
So growing up, all I knew about was like sports. I swear, like sports or just like simple things like going to parties and stuff like that. Like I never went fishing. I remember last time I was on a boat. Wow. I went camping with my football team like since senior year. It was a lot of stuff I didn't do or a lot of stuff I thought was weird growing up in Sac. And then when I came out here, I developed an open mind about just different things and being able to travel, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But I love growing up in Sacramento because it's humble beginnings, you know what I mean? It teach me to be grounded. It taught me to I feel like I don't need certain things to prove a certain point to certain people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I came up in such a dope household and around beautiful people. But sometimes it's like, man, y'all got to get out of Sacramento. y'all got to just go to LA, go to New York, go to Miami, go somewhere. You know what I mean? You have to do that in order to evolve as a person. You know what I mean? But I thank God I was able to grow up in the capital of California.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but man, I mean, that's where I got my first scars. That's where I got my first kiss. That's where I got everything. You know,
those are all your memories, your hometown memories.
Exactly.
But then you played football.
Yes.
Did you think you were going to go to the NFL, or were you always sure you wanted to be an actor?
When you're young, you think that's automatic. I'm going to the NFL. As you get older, you notice how hard it is. Then reality hits. Then it kind of gets depressing because it's like, if I don't do this, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I kind of fell into acting. And once I fell into it, I fell in love with it.
Oh, good.
So I thank God how that happened as well, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Were there any big role models that pushed you towards this industry? Anybody that you saw?
Big role models. Of course, I love Denzel Washington. I love how he keeps everything on the low. You know what I mean? To me, I feel like I don't know too much about him. All I know is what I see on, the screens, but I actually like that. You know what I mean? And, Will Smith, I love his goofiness and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air growing up.
Don't even get me started.
Like, you talking about just idols in general? Or
just role models.
Just role models. And, people like Jay-Z as a businessman. You know what I mean? I love people like Jay-Z. There's so many I have.
So you're a good mix between Denzel, Will Smith,
Jay-Z.
and Jay-Z. That's a pretty good mindset to have.
Exactly. Yeah. So just idols. Those are definitely idols I looked up to growing up.
Definitely.
From my earliest memory and stuff. And of course, like Dr. Dre. Of course. Of course, Dr. Dre. That's like the first, when I think back to music, that's the first thing I could remember is him pioneering music for me. Like, my earliest memory about music is Dr. Dre. That's all I know, especially growing up on the West Coast. So yeah.
Yeah, and then we were talking about your favorite music earlier and stuff like that, and you were talking about biopics. Whose biopic would you want to do?
I actually said this before. It'd probably be way out, but I would love to be Michael Jackson.
Do you have your moonwalk down?
Right.
I can get it down. If I was taught it, I could do it. But I really I love Michael Jackson, and I really think I could play like a Billie Jean Michael Jackson.
Okay, I gotta hear that.
See, I probably have to lip sync, but no, I would love to be doing Michael Jackson biopic.
All right. So what age Michael Jackson? Because there's a lot of different transitions of that man.
They got makeup now, but I could be I love the bad Michael Jackson, but of course, like the Billie Jean Thriller Michael Jackson is my favorite Michael Jackson. That's my favorite, but the bad Michael Jackson is like the coolest. Smooth Criminal.
Right.
Moonwalker, that's that Michael Jackson is just like the cool Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he's so iconic. I love that man. Rest in peace to him.
Yeah,
I know.
Yes.
So how'd you make the transition? You're on your path to NFL stardom, and then you decided to become a model. How did that transition happen?
Man, it was just a hard reality because in high school I didn't get past the NCAA clearinghouse. It's a thing you have to take certain classes to, even get considered to go D1. And I had one class that I hadn't took. So they instantly told me you're gonna have to go to JC first. And so I was going to JC. Yeah, I was in process of going to JC, but I didn't get my classes paid for in time. So then they were like, you're gonna have to miss a year. So I was like, I never missed a year since I was 7.
Right.
So I was like, this is scary. And then I found out my dad was moving to LA for a little bit for work, and I was like, I'm leaving with you. I'm going. I gotta go. I gotta get out of Sacramento because if I don't play, no telling what I could get myself into, being bored in Sacramento, knowing everybody, and it was just like, I have to go. So I left, But in the process of leaving, I signed to JE Models San Francisco, and I signed as a model because I modeled when I was 9, and I stopped to play sports, and then I came back to it after high school. But the market isn't that big up there.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, like whatever, I'm signed, but it's really, you know what I mean? I still want to play football. So when I moved to LA, my mindset was still to play football. But in the process of moving, they were like, you're moving to LA, JE Models were. They were like, we're going to recommend you, you know, to agency so you can get signed out there. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I went to Ford on my own without even letting them know. Ford didn't pick me up. So I was like, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to play football. But then they told me, they were like, that's what we do. That's what we're for. We recommend you. And then I ended up getting recommended to Wilhelmina, LA.
Which is huge.
Yeah, and I signed to Wilhelmina 2 days later after meeting with them. And then I booked my first job the next weekend. And I was like, you know what, I have to make a choice. This or football, and I just chose that.
Yeah.
Because it was realistic. I knew I wasn't good enough to go to the pros. Honestly, it was a harsh reality, but you have to be, you know, true to yourself sometimes. You have to be honest with yourself, and I'm glad I made that decision.
Definitely.
I love it, yeah.
Who did you want to commit to? Because I know that process is long. Trying to
for
figure
college?
that out. Yeah, college
I was talking to UNLV because my uncle used to go there. And I was talking to them, and they were like, well, you know, go to JC first, because I had to get through the NCAA clearinghouse.
Right. And
at first, my uncle was like, go to Butte and Chico. That's like even more up north in California. And I was like, I don't want to leave Sacramento. I still had that mindset. So that's when I said I'm going to go to JC in Sacramento, and it didn't work out. And then that's when I was like, you know what, I'm out, Dad, where you going? I'm following you. You know what I mean?
And you went big. I like that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did that. Yeah.
Yes.
So then, of course, you're modeling. You're doing great. You're in all these ads. How do you make that transition over to acting?
That's the hardest, because I kind of just I already had one foot in the door being a model. So I got signed to a commercial agent, which is HRI Talent. Then they opened as a theatrical agency, and I just signed with the theatrical side. Okay. So once I signed with them, they got me with my manager, Mara Santino at Luba Rockland Entertainment. And she basically told me, she was like, I'm gonna sign you just because I like your look. But if you don't represent me right, if you don't book, I'm gonna drop you. That's what it was, straight up. So, you know, I took a bunch of classes. I always studied. I always felt like you have to study on your craft. And I still wasn't in love with acting yet. But what made me fall in love, on my third audition, I booked my first feature film, House Party Tonight's the Night, and I went to South Africa to film it. And that like changed my life. I was like,
Tell us about that experience, please.
Man, it was the best thing ever. South Africa reminds me of like San Francisco for some reason, downtown. I don't know why. It reminds me of downtown San Francisco. It's very beautiful, but you know you're in Africa when you see those mountains and like the trees. It's like, this is crazy. Right. I love the people. It's beautiful. Women are beautiful. I love it. The food is good. Like, I love South Africa. I was in Cape Town. I love Cape
things
Town.
I've heard about Cape Town.
Yes, I love Cape Town, and it was just the best experience ever. And you know, I was like, man, I remember before every day on set, I was like, man, I can't wait to get up. You know what I mean? To go shoot. So that's when I knew I'm in love with acting. Yeah.
Right. And then, so you're in House Party, and you got this great role. What were your thoughts when you were on set? Like, did you ever have any thoughts of doubt, or did you ever go, I got this, I'm killing it every day?
I had the first scene I had to do. I had so much doubt. I was like, dude, this is crazy. Like, now it's really here. I've been rehearsing, but this is it. And it went very well. And it's funny because the director, it was an argument with my girlfriend in the movie, and the director told her to say a bunch of stuff that wasn't, you know, scripted. I didn't know how to improv yet. I'm still new. I'm like, what? So at the beginning of the scene, she instantly just goes off with like, in a whole, I wasn't expecting this, but that's good in acting. You're not supposed to expect anything. You know what I mean? To make it more realistic. So when she did that, I was like, what? But it was real reactions, you know what I mean? And I kept it going. I don't know what in me made me keep it going. I could have easily, but see, that's when I remember like, oh, this is acting, that's improv. I got to keep it going, and end up going so well. And after that first day, I remember just going home, and I couldn't call my mom because I was in Africa, but I was emailing her. I was so happy. I was like, man, I did it. Like, this is crazy.
And they used the scene, right?
Yeah,
good.
Definitely.
That's how you know you did well.
And it was like a big part of as far as my character being introduced in the beginning of the movie. So, yeah, and they did use that. That was crazy. And I was just like, wow. I was happy.
Did you watch all the House Parties before you did that?
I did. I watched every single one, but my favorite is number one.
Is it?
The first one, yeah.
Mine is a college one where they
You like the college one? Yeah, the pajama jam.
Pajama jam.
I know. I wanted to go to a college. Like I was like, ooh, this is what
Okay.
college is gonna be
Yeah.
like. Yes.
That first one is just so classic to me, man. Like, I don't know, they had a bunch of great actors in there.
Right.
Like, that was a classic movie, so that's crazy. I grew up on that movie, so to be in this, in the sequel, and I met Kid and Play. They were at the end of our movie, so I met them. That was crazy. I was like, wow.
Right. Okay. So you also starred as Anthony Theo on MTV's Faking It,
Yes.
which is a great show. What is the best part about being on this show? It's such a high visible show as well.
I like the fact that, they take that chance to touch on touchy subjects as far as like, homosexuality in high school and stuff like that, and lesbians in high school, and also intersex. One of the characters are intersex, and I just love being a part of something that is being edgy about it. You know what I mean, and taking that chance about it. You know what I mean? It's always a touchy subject. Me personally, I believe in everyone has their own story. Everyone's equal. Everyone's going through something. So I'm never going to judge somebody off of who they love or what they, what they feel. I was raised a Christian. You know what I mean? And I still am a Christian. But at the end of the day, I know, and in the Bible it says everyone, is equal, and we all go through stuff. We all sin. You know what I mean? So for me to tell you, oh, this isn't right, I'm already a hypocrite because I know I'm not right. I sin every day just like everyone else. You know what I mean? So just to be a part of this is just like, it's big for me. It's like, man, I love it. I love my cast. I love the fans are so, people go through this stuff every day. So the fans, they're like, this is like, I call our show like a drug. It's like an escape of reality for people who watch it, who's going through it. You know what I mean? They find happiness in watching this show. So I think it's a big responsibility for me, for my character, even though my character is just like a regular, charismatic guy, you know what I mean? But I'm still a part of the show, and I'm still giving people, entertainment, and, giving them a story that they cherish. And it's just like, man, it's a big responsibility for me because without them, there's no me.
Right. And then what would you like to see the writers do with your character if you could had a choice?
You know what? That's tough because I love everything they did. In the second season, 2B, they found out my character was a narc in the high school the whole time, and I thought that was dope. Like I didn't see that coming when they told me before my first day of shooting, it was like, your character, his secret is he's gonna be a narc. I was like,
wow.
I like that. I love it. I was like, man, so to do that,
Snitching on him.
exactly. So to do that finale, it was just like, man, this is so fun to be a cop in the finale.
Right,
So, yeah.
right. And then, like being in such a show that's a little bit controversial by some people's standards, was there ever a moment when you were looking at the script and said, I don't know, does this conflict with me, or am I cool with this? Can I pull this off? Anything like that?
Not really. My love interest in the show is intersex, so I was kind of like, what is that? You know what I mean? And which is dope. What's dope is our show teamed up with intersex.org and really educated like all of us on that subject.
Well, let's explain, because there's people watching who have no idea what intersex is.
You know what? I don't know. I'm still learning about it all the way, so I don't want to just say it and not be all the way right with it. You know what I mean? But it's something that I feel like we all should look into, because I feel like it's a lot of kids out there who's going through that and and they feel like they're so like they feel like they're not normal. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's why I love our show, is it gives back to those kids out there who you might meet people who's going through that and you don't even know. So I think we should all do our research on that. Me, I know a little bit about it, but I don't want to say nothing.
We don't want to mess you up.
We understand. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's a really progressive show, which is good to see.
Yes.
Yeah. So then you're also on Yahoo's upcoming show, which is Sin City Saints.
Yes.
Look at you doing
It's
that.
basketball.
Yes.
So you get to play, you get to go back to your athletic roots.
Yeah.
Tell us about the show and what you like most about it.
Oh, the show is just about a young internet billionaire who decides to buy an expansion basketball team in the NBA, which happens to be in Las Vegas. And I'm his first round draft pick. I play Ladarius Pope. And my character is like that guy who grew up only knowing about basketball. It was basketball this, basketball that. But and it was one of the good kids playing. And what's so funny about those athletes is that you could look up to them and be like, man, he's dope. But off the court, you don't know who
Anything.
he is. So like, what's so fun about this show is, at least for my character, you get to see him. He gets injured early in the show, in the series. But what happens is you get to see the real him, which is this naive, mama's boy. He's like a helpless romantic. He's like
That's
very
a nice
sensitive.
spin. That's a nice
It's
spin.
like it's crazy because he could be on this court and be this rock star, but when he's injured, you get to see who he really is. But throughout the whole series, the owner is like messing up his life. But not on purpose. It's just that the owner is like an irresponsible owner. He's like him owning this team is way above like his head. Like he's not ready for this.
Yeah.
So it creates like this crazy just this crazy circus.
Now, what about your basketball skills? Did you
Right,
actually
you're,
did you
you're
have to
on the
brush up
football
on-
side.
Right. Did you have to brush
Man.
up on your skills, or
You know
did you
what?
have it?
You know what? I got lucky because my character was injured for most of the show. But
Had some time to practice.
I could definitely go out there and play and act
Like you
the
play
rookie
basketball.
star. You know what I mean? But I
Right.
grew up playing football. Like I was that football player. I played until my sophomore year. Then I stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just cheer my friends on. Y'all all too good. I didn't want to sit on the bench because I'm so
right.
competitive. So I'm like, I'm gonna just keep playing football and running track.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's talk about something that I'm excited is coming out in August. Straight Outta Compton, which is the
Yes.
NWA biopic.
She was in the trailer.
Yeah. You play Dr. Dre's younger brother, and I know you said you love Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
So what was it like when you got cast in this
Oh
film?
man, it didn't hit me until I booked it, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. But I didn't know too much about what they were doing with the movie yet. So I'm like, well, what are they gonna do with it? And then I shortly found out it was gonna be a Universal film. So I'm like, okay,
All right.
it's a big deal.
Right.
So I went to the production office. I think I had my first day of rehearsals with Corey Hawkins, who plays Dr. Dre, my big brother in the movie. And while I'm there, Dr. Dre walks out of the office. He looks at me, but then walks back in because he's talking to somebody. Instantly, my heart drops because I'm like, dude, I watched this guy my whole life.
Right.
Like, whether it's music, whether it's on TV and music videos, whether it's he brought out Eminem, 50 Cent. These are people that I grew up listening to like every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I seen him, I was just like, wow, this is Dre. This is Dre. I know they're gonna introduce me to him. I know they are. So they introduced me to him, and he just looked at me. He was like, wow, this is gonna be good. Because I'm playing his little brother, so he's like, wow, this is really gonna be good. And
So that was a good cast.
yeah,
Okay,
like,
good.
he was smiling. Like I shook his hand and I introduced myself, and I was just like, it was just so awkward because we just smiling at each other. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, this is really Dr. Dre, but it was like amazing. Yes.
Yes. And then
Right.
did you get to meet the character that you played?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I did not. And there's a reason for that. You'll see.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait till it comes out. So being on that set, of course, it's pretty historic because you
Yes.
get to meet people like Dr. Dre. What did you feel about bringing, because in other stories you play somebody who's not real. This story you play somebody who's real.
Yes.
So what was the responsibility that you felt you had to be that person?
I felt like I had a huge responsibility. You know what I mean? This is these people are part of people's lives. You know what I mean? And to be from the West Coast
Right.
and tell a story from the West Coast and people of LA, they're not playing no games about this story. So I felt like it was a big responsibility that me personally, I'm going to embrace. You know what I mean? I want to embrace that responsibility. So to be able to, right when I knew like I had that responsibility, it was just like, I was just asking my acting coach on set every day, what do I got to do to bring this character to life and bring the truth, you know what I mean, to bring this character to life truthfully. And he would, he would give me, my pointers, and Dre would too. I was on set with Dre
Oh,
every
that was
day.
my question. Did he give you any
Yes.
tips?
Yes, I was on set with him every day. And, he didn't tell me like personally what he looked for. He would just tell me that I'm always doing good, or he would just give me pointers, but he would tell the acting coach to let me know. Because the acting coach is going to tell you the best way. You know what I mean? Because he's the coach. And it was just like perfect pointers, was straight to the point, and it really helped. So
Good.
I can't wait to see this.
I'm
It's
so
gonna be
excited.
I
Have
seen
you seen any of it yet?
from ADR sessions, and I was just
Okay.
like, wow, this is really crazy. Like, this is going to be crazy.
Oh, your family's gonna be so proud, and your friends are
man.
gonna be watching.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah, everybody. Everybody's gonna be watching, which is crazy. People I grew up watching are gonna be watching. So,
And as an actor, is there anything that you wouldn't do?
right now, I think to play someone who is homosexual would be kind of uncomfortable for me right now. I feel like I'm still like getting into the game, and I'm still, figuring myself out. And I don't know. Me personally, I don't know how comfortable I would be going to set every day. You know what I mean? Having to do that, but that's like the only one right now. But I'm so like ready for the future and ready for what's coming.
Right.
That I'm ready. Like me, I'm ready to play someone real dark. I feel like I'm such a clean cut guy. You know what I
Like a
mean?
serial killer?
Yeah.
Something like a drug
Megan,
addict.
what?
Something, yeah.
I
Like
said dark.
I'm trying to play somebody like real dark. I feel like that'll give me like, you know, a different dynamic.
Yeah, that'll
You know what
propel
I
you
mean?
to the next level.
So that's the only thing that I feel uncomfortable about right now. But
Right.
at the same time, I'm 22 years old. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
so
new
far to go.
Yeah, I'm new in the industry. So you never know later on. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
definitely.
So let's talk about you being 22 years old.
Yes.
I'm sure you're dating.
Yes.
Do you have a girlfriend or boyfriend?
No, I don't
We
have
don't
a
know. You know,
girlfriend.
we don't know.
I don't have a girlfriend right now. I was
Okay.
just in a long relationship.
So you're not looking. I was gonna say, what do you look for in a lady?
And a lady, I'm not looking right now, but I just look for, it's just the little things. It's personality. Of course, you're going to be attracted. What's going to catch my eye at first is how you look. You know what I mean? But that could go away after like the third week.
Beauty fade.
Like-
beauty fade.
Man, so like it's just personality, sense of humor. I love girls who are intelligent and very intellectual because I grew up. I didn't grow up very like with the like people around me weren't so intellectual. You know what I mean? I grew up more urban, like in an urban type of you know feel. So for a girl to bring that to me, I think that'd just be dope. I would love to date a girl that I could look up to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Even though girls want that in a man, I'm gonna provide what I need to as a man. But I want to, I would date a girl that I could look up to. But right now, I don't think I'm that man. So what I'm looking for in a girl is not who I am yet as a man. So I feel like right
I'm glad
now,
you
just
know
like,
that.
yeah.
That is so
glad
good
you know
of you
that.
and mature of
Yeah.
you to even say that. Most
Yeah.
guys are like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I don't feel like I got it yet. Like I got a long way to go. Like man, I realized that in my last relationship. Reason why it's not what it, is no more. But I love my ex. She taught me a lot. And
Yeah, always lessons learned.
yes, definitely. And I just know myself now even more. And I'm like, okay. Now I
Is
see.
there what's one pet peeve that you have when it comes to a woman or relationships?
Pet peeve is the social network stuff. It's the why'd you like her picture? Why'd you follow her?
Like the
It's
nagging and like in your business stuff.
It's like, I mean, that's girls in general. You know what I
Right.
mean? Girls, they don't play. So, but the social networks just creates more problems. It's like,
Yeah.
dang, like that's like my biggest pet peeve. I think it would be that.
That'll
And-
change with time. We're talking about girls versus a woman. So
Exactly. And, this is 21st century, so this is new to everybody still. You know what I mean? So eventually, people are going to be able to cope with it differently. So, yeah.
So word to the ladies out there that are watching this, don't be a social media nag.
don't be stalking him.
Because Keith is not gonna play with it. All right, before we get out of here, I'm glad we're talking about social media. And
Where can
also,
every-
what are some upcoming projects? We know that Straight Outta Compton is coming out soon. Is there anything else that we should be on the lookout for?
Faking It is back August 31st. I did an episode, I guest starred in the first episode of Fear the Walking Dead,
Okay.
which comes out in the summer, which is going to be very good. I'm excited for that. And I'm on a new show called Recovery Road
Okay.
on ABC
Yes.
Family that comes out beginning of next year.
You're so
ABC shows are
busy.
successful.
Yes.
Look at you.
Yeah, it's a blessing. Yeah.
Super busy. Let
Yeah.
me touch my hand. I need some of this.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm excited. It's going to be a great year. And, it's kind of, I get anxious and nervous because I'm like, what's going to happen? But I'm ready.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And then where can everybody find you on social media?
Instagram, I'm at Keith Powers. Twitter, I'm at Keith T. Powers. My middle name is Tyree. So I just threw that in there for my Twitter, which is crazy because I want to share this real quick. Tyree is also the name of the character I play in Straight Outta Compton.
Right.
Really?
Yeah,
Look
so
at that.
When
was meant
Dre
to be.
seen that, it was like, wow, it was weird. So yeah, it was meant to be, I guess.
Yeah,
it was.
definitely.
Where can we find you?
You guys can always find me at Tezeno on Twitter and Instagram. Be sure to use the hashtag BHL Next. We're going to start looking at those for real, guys. You're not talking to us.
Yeah. It's me, Megan Thomas at Meg Scoop on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Be sure to go to podcast1.com. Let us know what you think about Black Hollywood Live, Black Hollywood Live Next, and everything that we do right here. Make sure you tune in next week because we always talk about who's up and who's next. Bye,
Yes.
guys.
We'll see you guys next week.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.